Alright, this is my level for Pnp3 for the team project. Now this opening part isn't actually part of the level, so it'll simply be skipped over for this. All of this is simply placeholder territory so that other levels may fit in to incorporate this build over here, which is the true level itself. And the green marker indicates where the player will start. There are collectibles that the player may impact into in order to add them to the inventory. There are the breadcrumb collectibles as well as money, which is hidden back here behind trees. There are also some in the main factory area itself. Now, the main task of the level is to push boxes out of the way and avoid pits on the floor which will kill and respawn the player. The rooms are kind of large and empty, with very large pits in them as well, so the player doesn't have very much room to walk across. All the while, they can get collectibles along the way, and they realize that they need 2 keys to get in the center door. The first of which is off to the left, and the way to open the door is by taking the box, shoving it against the door, and pressing E a whole bunch until the door opens. Now, for the first room, it is simply a repeat of more boxes and thinner platforms. Simply throw the boxes out of the way, and proceed onward throughout the level. There are risky paths that reward more collectibles, or you can simply stick along the wall, move a few boxes, and reach the other side of the room, which is your goal. Once you're all the way across, the player notices that there is a key that they are able to obtain. Getting the key triggers a message prompt that suggests you get to the central room. There are also hidden collectibles such as this, which aren't exactly in the player's line of sight and may be missed, but they are all non-vital. Upon reaching the staircase, the player must simply do large vertical leaps to get up to the top, and then fall back down into the central chamber. The opposite door will already be unlocked since they got the key, and they may progress into the next room, which is more spacious area, but there's no boxes this time. There's one at the far end of the room. These winding paths can be a bit tricky, especially if the mouse decides to not work properly. There are shortcuts available if they choose to attempt to jump the gap. However, it is not advised, as walking the path works just fine. The space is empty to incorporate other puzzles or create new puzzles when the team actually comes together to create a coherent game. Now, for the open room on the right, there is a spare box and a key which the player needs. To open the door to leave, the player can either go back the way they came, or if they wish for additional story bits, they can attempt this challenge to carefully balance this block on a tiny ledge in order to open the door. This box does not have rotation lock, which can cause extra difficulty should the player have bad luck with rotations. However, once the box is against the door, it may attempt to fall into that pit, which is never good. As you can see, the box can be quite challenging. However, this area is completely optional and is meant to reward hard work, or we can just cheat through it. There are collectibles in the new room. It is simply a copy of the opposite hallway, but the player must jump over and duck under pipe segments Now, as an extra reward for clearing that challenge, there are some story bits available by interacting with these computers. Each one you touch will have different aspects that say different things. The damaged one has more damaged text, which can give a sort of mystery about the level. And finally, there is a simple book. All of that gives a kind of backstory to the level and to the world itself. They can be easily edited to accommodate the other level's needs. Now then, once you're in the central chamber, the center door is still locked. Even with keys, it doesn't open. You need to grab the box from the initial door. As the message prompts say, once you grab the box, you simply drag it back all the way over to the new door. The box itself can be a bit temperamental with not wanting to come with you and will just drop out of your hands. You just bash the cube against the door, spam E, and it slides open. There are collectibles in each corner beyond the door. And the final challenge begins. There are animated pistons poking in and out of the wall, which the player has to carefully avoid or risk getting pushed into the pit. Should the player clear all those, they are presented with a choice to jump across or to attempt the other piston wall, which moves even faster. Personally, skipping it is far easier. Now another checkpoint, and you find the item you were sent here for, and escape the level.